Welcome back. This is DM Bloodworth once again, and this is episode 2 of the new character premium account blog that I'm working on. And you can see, picking up where we left off, I have my character Black Volmea of the guild that he created, Corrupted Souls. You can see when you do upgrade your characters in the starting screen, you can see the gear that they're currently wearing, their guild behind them. During the first episode, just working through the very beginning portion of the tutorial to get to tier 2, you can see my character, had gained 386 combat fame, 66 crafting fame, and overall fame. Let's move this out of the way. Overall fame of 614. If you didn't watch the first episode, I had transferred 131,000 silver to this character from my main character. That way, you could see the creation of a guild, and the remainder of that silver I'll use towards building a personal island, which will that's one of the goals for this particular episode. So I'm going to enter the game where I left off. So once again, very brief recap. What I did in episode 1 was create a guild, purchase premium account. Actually, I did that first. So I purchased 1 day's worth of premium account. That way I can create a guild. Created a guild, and going over to the guild board, you can see the reason why I wanted to create the guild before I did the tutorial is because everything that my character does now is going to be attributed to the guild. I can create more information here on the guild, and if I click on the guild, I can see that everything my character did during the tutorial has already given the guild credit for that. Every member you have in a guild contributes to that guild's growth. So as you can see, I'm tier 2 in all of my starter gear. I have my tier 2 mount, everything leather, bow, and I have my cape. I have some materials in here that I don't need. Tier 1 materials at this point you can just throw out, and so you quickly grab it, click it, and discard it, including the sword. I'm going to hold on to this tier 1 stone and logs, because I will need that for building a house. These other materials I will deposit. Actually, I'll deposit everything in here except for that wood. Might need the leather as well. So before moving on, my next step is to move him towards tier 3. So let me show you where he stands towards that. So Journeyman Adventurer, I have 922 fame of 9,000. I have no intentions of becoming a Journeyman Mage, so when I click on it, it brings this up, and I want to untrack that. That way it takes it off my sheet. Leather armor, I want to continue. Journeyman Plate Mail Fighter, I'm not intending on following that tree, at least not right now, so I'm going to untrack that as well. Hunter I want, Cloth Armor Fighter, again, untracking it. I just want to get what I need up here, and so these are the 4 or 5 things I want to track. So I'll close this now. So my next step, going back to here actually, so I'm following the bow line. So I need 1,000 fame points in order to unlock these usable weapons. So I can upgrade to a journeyman's bow, which is a tier 3 bow, or I can start using these newer weapons, a quarterstaff, a dagger, a journeyman's nature staff, a spear, and a torch. The torch is an offhand weapon, and so it increases, it speeds up your cooldowns, and it increases your attack speed. I've already said I'm going to make this character an assassin, so I am going to work towards getting a dagger, and I will work towards getting the torch, and so I'll be dual wielding a dagger and torch. So that's my goal. So next thing I need to do is I need to upgrade my tools. And there is a tool crafter over here. The tier that your tool is. So a tier 1 tool can gather tier 1 resources and tier 2 resources. It cannot gather tier 3. So since I'm going to start pushing out into, the broader world, I need to unlock these higher level tiered weapons. So if I or tools. I'm focusing on leather, so what do I need to unlock this here? Well, I see I need some resources. I need some copper bars. I have the tier 2 wood in order to make this. So if I craft or try to craft it, it's going to say you don't have enough resources. So let's get the copper bars. Now in this starting town, there's always copper bars or copper that you can get. This is the raw material. Once again, the premium bonus that you can see as it floats up is giving me additional copper from this that I normally wouldn't get. I believe that one started at 3 and this one might have started at 2, and I've already gained 18 just from these 2 partially filled resources. Now I can craft 18 bars. Oh, that's not the tool crafter. So now I come over to the skinning knife, and now I can craft a skinning knife. So you can see it's redded out. That means I can't use it yet, but I can craft it. So I'm going to hit craft. And now I have crafted my skinning knife. I'm also, since I'm using bows, I'm going to need a novice axe. And so I will craft that. And I know I'm going to eventually need daggers, so I'm going to craft a tier 2 pickaxe. But you can see here I'm short on some tier 2 wood, so I will go and gather some tier 2 wood. There's some here in town. I didn't need much, so. Now you can see over here, my gathering resources. I need to gather tier 2 resources, and I've gathered 126 fame out of 240. So I do have some more work to do there, and I will continue killing tier 2 animals for their leather. I'm going to focus on the 3 areas that I need to focus on in order to get the resources I need for the equipment I want to use. At the same time, I'm gaining experience towards my combat. So that's the great thing about this, is that every activity you do, sometimes it will increase your experience in several different areas simultaneously. So there is an efficiency in kind of following a straight path. And you can see this is going up as we do it. I'm at 148. You notice I have some empty slots here. I'm going to go make myself a backpack, which will give me some higher carrying capacity. Again, gathering these resources is increasing my trainer gatherer. I come over here to this weaver. Alright, so I just gained some experience in refining. You can compete with others in gathering material. I try not to do it as often as possible, but I am trying to accomplish a few things here. Oh, I'm going to make my tool. So you come back to this tool merchant over here, and get my bearings in this town. And these are all your tools that you can make. If you come to accessories, I can now make a carrying bag. So, and it automatically slots. What the backpack does, if you click on it, it gives me additional carrying capacity. So it increased my capacity by plus 43 kilograms of carrying. I'm going to head out into the wilderness now, and I'm looking for tier 2 hide, tier 2 trees, any tier 2 items to get me to go over the amount that I need in order to start gathering tier 3 and move myself up that ladder. As I pointed out in my first video, you can see that your carrying capacity when you're inside of this circle takes your mount into account. So right now, my total carrying capacity is 20% full. When I step out and dismiss my horse, you can see now it's up to 28%. If you remember, I can either click on my attack powers or I can just press the buttons to do so. I'll do that this time, so I'll press the Q and now I'm doing my focus attack. I press the W and now I'm doing my explosive arrows. Alright, so my gathering has now increased, and you can see at this point I have unlocked my ability to use a novice skinning knife, a novice axe, and oh, I had to go make the pickaxe. So I can get rid of this tier 1 axe. It's not needed anymore. I can get rid of the tier 1. I like to slot my tools up top. That way I don't accidentally remove them. So now at this point, let's find a wolf. I just heard one. So a wolf is a tier 3 animal, and so they're a little bit tougher. Now because I upgraded my skinning knife, I can collect the tier 3 animal skin. Now I still need tier 2 animal skins because I'll need to craft tier 2 leather, and that will combine up with the tier 3 skins that I just started collecting in order to make tier 3 leather, which I'll need for the upgrade of my armor. So you never lose the use of needing to require lower tier resources, the crafting resources. That includes tier 1 stone, which you'll use for housing, which I will do during this this episode. I'll show you purchasing a guild island or a personal island, and then setting down a house foundation. I'm looking for tier 3 trees at this point. I just noticed that my Reaver, which is my killing fame was just about at 1,000. So here's tier 3 stone, and I cannot because I'm still only using the novice hammer. I only have the novice hammer. Here's some tier 3 wood. So now you can see there's another category here of journeyman lumberjack. All right, and same thing with journeyman skinner and such, that you know, they start rising independently at this point as well. I still need tier 2 wood. Oh, that was tier 1. I don't need tier 1 wood except for building my my first building structure. These are called forest spirits, and they carry their tier 3. So a tier 3 forest spirit will drop tier 3 wood. Okay, so now I just unlocked 2 things. I unlocked Novice Reaver, and so now I do additional damage versus creatures of higher and increased value by 15%, so tier 3 or higher. Increased defense, and an expedition, I can do the standard expedition, which is a solo or group mission at the tier 3 level. And I've unlocked Hunter, Journeyman Hunter, which now I have unlocked the use of all of these different weapons now. So I am going to head back to town. I'll mount my horse to get there. Mounts take damage if you're getting hit by them. Higher tier mounts are, you know, they gain some speed, and so you're able to avoid a lot. Really do need those wolf skins to make my armor, but I want to show you this next step. So first thing I need to do is to upgrade my pick. And while I'm at it, I might as well upgrade my... Well, I only have 16. I want to see what I need to make those daggers, because ultimately that's where I want to that's the weapon of choice for me. So you can see here, even though that they're not redded out, I can't craft the dagger yet. I either don't have the resources, which I need 12 tier 3. I need 12 tier 3 bars or bronze bars, which requires copper bars and then bronze. And I also need tier 3 leather in order to make those. I've also unlocked the ability to wear tier 3 leather, but I just need the materials. So I have to make tier 3 leather in order to upgrade to that. You can tell nighttime it does get quite dark, and a little bit difficult to see depending on your settings. So I'm gonna make this stiff leather first. And now I can make thick leather. Thick leather requires the stiff leather, which is the tier 2 leather refined, and then the thin hide, so just the hides. I can make 13 of these. You see I gained some fame from doing so. I have 2,000 of 9,000 adventurer experience points. With 13 leather, I want to see I'm going to need 16, so I still don't have enough for that. Let's see if I can make the, or at least start preparing to make the bow. So I'm going to start dumping these resources into here because they are they are weighting me down. I don't need to bring it all with me. You can stack everything, sort it, and it'll sort it in power order or, tier order. You'll notice some of my equipment has a green dot. That means that it is somewhat worn down. So very quickly I will find the repair shop and I can repair and you'll see everything has repaired. Alright, so the next stage, I'm going to cut this one a little bit short, and the next stage will be to go out and collect those tier 3 resources I need to make that next step. Thank you for joining, and I will be back with the next episode shortly.